something you found like comfort in when you may have been stressed or something, maybe you've gotten some bad news? Is that something that you go to when something like that happens?
Yeah, there's been a lot of times that I have. And then there's been a lot of times where like I just don't feel it in me to do it. It's like for me, I really felt like when I broke my arm, for instance, like, oh my gosh, I can't draw, I can't do anything. And of course, it's my left arm that I don't even use and doesn't affect any of my actual drawing skills. But you get in your head about these things, but for me it totally brings comfort, and once I'm like in the zone, like it's just everything else just kind of melts away. So between that and like reading and writing and things like that, that definitely for sure helps.
Are there any charities or organizations that you've been in connection with or that are close to your heart?
Yes. Ever since I got diagnosed, I've always gone to National Institutes of Health. I'm actually in a study there since I was about 4 years old, and they've done a natural history study kind of following me as I've gotten older and things like that. And their version of the Ronald McDonald House is actually called the Children's Inn. And it's this beautiful, magical place that, like, obviously, when I was younger and my family would go, that's where my family would stay when I would have to be in the hospital. And it was more of like a huge playground for like me and my siblings to be on vacation than it was like you're on campus of a hospital. And so they've done a lot for me, they've done a lot for my family, and they do a lot for families who actually have to be there a lot longer than like my typical stay would be. I would have annual trips that were weeks long, were like a week long, but other people would have to be at the Children's Inn for months, if not like a year or so on end. And it's kind of like your home away from home. And they continue to try to do renovations and grow and be able to provide, so that way the last thing that families have to worry about is taking care of their kids. Like they don't want them to worry about cooking or cleaning or anything like that. That's services that they try to provide for their families, and it's really amazing. And they're ever growing, and they're ever trying to do more, which is amazing. They have a main volunteer group. It's more of a volunteer based place, but they do have obviously like the people that work there full time. And through COVID, it's been really difficult for them, just because they haven't been able to have the volunteers on campus and things like that, just to certain security and obviously health reasons and things like that. So they're still trying as much as they can to do the same services for the families that they've been able to provide over the years. Um, and one other organization that I'm just super, super close with as well, because around the same time, my family started attending Magic Foundation, and they're an organization that focuses on diseases that affects the growth hormone in children, and young adults and adults, but mainly focuses on children. And it's a great support group mainly. They meet once a year. In this case, they had their virtual conference. But they have, I want to say, when I first started going there, they had maybe like 10 or 12 different disease groups. So, like McCune Albright syndrome, a friend of mine has Russell Silver syndrome. There's so many more. And now I think they have over like 30 or something crazy like that, which is amazing. And also don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure, but they've definitely expanded out to be able to provide an educational aspect of it as well. The conference is usually like a 3 to 4 day conference, and usually 2 of those days are specifically for parents to be educated by doctors in who are experts in that disease, and having other speakers come, whether it's helping with the young adults coping with their diagnosis or meeting other kids that they typically wouldn't have the opportunity to meet because it is so rare most of the time that the likelihood of you running into somebody who has the same thing is like 1 in a million. So it's to me, it's like an in-person version of Rare Guru, which is actually really amazing why you guys have started what you have and why I'm always just like, yes, I love this.
And actually, leading into our next question, what are your thoughts on Rare Guru, and would an app like Rare Guru would have helped you and your parents when you were going through the diagnosis process or even throughout your childhood?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for me, I definitely went through a lot of moments where I just went like, nobody understands. Nobody could ever get what I'm going through unless they actually have it. And parents mean so well. And I think I was harder on my parents than anything about everything. And I don't know how they dealt with me. But just, I mean, I was hard on them because, they wanted to do as much as they could to help. And I'm sure that they felt helpless and wish that they had people to talk to. And when we did find the Magic Foundation, it was great because it did allow that. Because all that was out there at the time was not so great, like Facebook support groups and things like that, or kind of like that concept. Because most of the time they would just see so many sad and unfortunate things because it turned into more of an event group than a support group. And for me, when I literally just came across you guys and I was looking at it and I'm like, this is incredible. This is exactly what I've been talking about, how like what I wish that I could have done or at least could have had access to. Because my mom, I know, would have loved to have that opportunity to connect with people. I would have loved to have that opportunity to connect with people. And this is such a great opportunity to expand that community so much. And especially because McCune-Albright syndrome, that's very rare for people to have that, but the bone aspect of it, fibrous dysplasia, is more common, still rare, but more common. And so to even get connected with people who just have the bone aspect of my disease, I've been sharing with everybody that I come into contact with about you guys, just because for me, the more people that we can get involved in it and the more we can have people talk about this community, I think the more opportunity, especially in this time of COVID, people can feel less isolated and feel like they're more of a community than ever, really. I mean, I've loved this connection that I've been able to make with you and your mom. It's just been an incredible experience for me um, to even have the honor of doing this and being able to kind of share you guys and the work that you're doing because it's incredible. Very biased, obviously. No.
So much. Well, that is actually the end of the questions. So just thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your story. You are so inspirational, and we can't wait to put this out.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for watching our new segment, Rare with Claire, and a special thanks to Sarah for joining us and sharing her story. If you would like to see the full version, please visit our YouTube channel. Also, stay tuned because we will be posting more little clips and segments from the interview. If you have a rare or chronic illness and would like to be featured, please DM us for more information. See you next time.